Hallo Deutsch 4. This is the guy that inspired a video that we never made. Rather, that we started to make. Let me tell you what I just told you. This is the guy that inspired a video that we started making. Do you hear the word that? That is the word we're going to talk about. That is a relative pronoun. A relative pronoun, there's a bunch of them, which, that, who, they refer back to antecedents, meaning a person, place, a thing that was earlier in the sentence. So again, this is the guy that inspired us. So the word that is referring back to the guy, right? Or we could say this is the guy who inspired us. So there's a bunch of them. How do they work in German? Here's a couple. Die Schauspielerin, die in der Mitte steht, ist meine Tante. So the word die is a relative pronoun. It relates back to die Schauspielerin, just like who refers back to the actress. I could say, das war der Ort, wo es gedreht wurde. So the word wo refers back to der Ort, the place where. Ist das der Regie, dessen Filme immer so brutal sind? Is that the director whose movies are always so brutal? Those are relative pronouns. You have sort of a sentence in two parts, and the same thing is being referred to in both parts of the sentence. And the second time around, you just shorten it. The word dessen and the word deren, those are the only new words here. They both mean whose, depending on the gender. It might be dessen or deren. It means whose, kind of like wessen. Dessen or deren. So what do we know about relative pronouns in German? Kennst du den Regie, der Goodbye Lenin drehte? Ist das die Komödie, die nächsten Sommer rauskommt? Do you see that there's a comma in the middle always? And just like any other time we have a comma and then the rest of a sentence in German, you're going to be verb kicking because this relative pronoun basically acts just like a conjunction. It's a verb kicker, just like all the other conjunctions we've learned. Kennst du den Regie, der Goodbye Lenin drehte? Do you know the director that filmed Goodbye Lenin? But the word filmed ends up getting kicked to the end. Ist das die Komödie, die nächsten Sommer rauskommt? Is that the comedy that is coming out next summer? So you have kind of this comma and then verb kicking situation. Kind of interesting. Berlin is the location where Tom Twicker filmed Lola Rent. Berlin ist der Ort. Now, where is my relative pronoun going to be? Oh yeah, right after the comma. So Berlin is the place where. I could say Berlin ist der Ort wo, or I could say Berlin ist der Ort der. I could do either. It's the place where or the place that. He recommended the mystery that he saw yesterday. Empfahl den Krimi. So what is our relative pronoun going to be? It'll be right after the comma. It's going to refer back to Krimi. He recommended the mystery that. It's going to be masculine. And he saw it yesterday. So empfahl den Krimi, den gestern sah. So this is the last thing I wanted to show you. These relative pronouns, since they're sometimes wo and sometimes wer and sometimes wann, but also sometimes just basically a der, die, das, they also can take case. So you'll see them being den and dame, that kind of thing. So you'll see that as well. And it was just he saw the movie, so it's a direct object in this case. This is what I told you before, is that these are the words for whose. Kind of the only new words. Ist der Schauspieler, dessen Augen blau sind. He's the actor whose eyes are blue. Ist der Schauspieler, dessen Augen blau sind. I'm not saying he is blue. I'm saying something that belongs to him is blue. So that's why I say dessen Augen, whose eyes. Or for female, we say, sie ist die Schauspielerin, deren Augen grün sind. So maybe you'll see the words dessen and deren. And they just mean whose. They're also relative pronouns. That's all I have for you about relative pronouns. Looking in your book, you have a couple activities. On page 156, you just have to identify them. They're always going to be right after the comma. So der, die, den. Number 4 is mit dem. And number 5 is dessen, right? Because they're always, the relative pronoun is right after the comma, referring to something that came before it. And then on activity 2, you have to decide if it's who or whose, basically. So you have to think about the meaning here. Till Schweiger, Daniel Brühl, Martin Wuttke und Daniel Kruger sind deutsche Schauspieler. So we're referring to the actors, all of these actors, in diesem Film gespielt hat. Okay, we're going to say that played in the movie. Just regular old they played in the movie. Just plural, the actors, kind of like saying sie haben in den Film gespielt. I'm just going to say die in diesem Film gespielt haben. Number 2, Christoph Waltz in Film SS Standardführer Hans Lande spielte, besitzt die deutsche und österreichische Staatsbürgerkeit. Maybe you've heard of him. He's an American actor, but he is a German citizen and Austrian. So would we say Christoph Waltz who played Hans Landa? Or would we say Christoph Waltz whose played Hans Landa? Would it be der or dessen? Well, it would be der. Okay, so that's how we do that activity, and you have the key. And activity 3, jede Reihe von 23 Bildern, die man auf den Streifzelluloid sieht. Every row of 23 pictures that you see. So it's referring back to pictures. So the relative pronoun is going to be plural, just die. Right? So I have to think back, what is my relative pronoun here? Number 2, ein Film. Okay, film is masculine. Okay, so what it's going to be? Ein Film, der, oh, excuse me, whose length? Whose length is not more than 2 hours. So instead of saying der, we're going to say, how do we say whose for masculine? Is it dessen or deren? We're going to say dessen. Dessen Länge mehr als 2 Stunden ist besonders lang. Die Illusion. Okay, so we know it's feminine, so what's the relative pronoun going to be? Die der Zuschauer bekommt, the illusion that the public gets. Der Zuschauer. Now, the Zuschauer is the public or the audience. And now this one's getting at, we have to sometimes change the case. In this case, it's dative or an indirect object. We show a movie to the audience. Der Zuschauer, dem with an M, man einen Film zeigt. And then die meisten Filme, die man sieht, sind digital. Das heißt, der Streifen Celluloid, die früher alle die kleinen Bilder hielt. Excuse me, it would be der because it's referring back to der Streifen. So all of these are relative pronouns. Now, as you recall, I said you could cross off page 150.